In the sprawling universe of Star Trek, the Prime Directive stands as one of the most pivotal and controversial tenets guiding the actions of Starfleet officers. Officially known as Starfleet General Order 1, the Prime Directive mandates non-interference with the natural development of alien civilizations, particularly those that have not yet achieved warp capability. It is a principle rooted in respect for the autonomy and evolution of other cultures, but it also raises profound ethical questions. Is the Prime Directive ethically sound, or does it represent a form of moral abdication in the face of suffering and injustice? Let's try to answer that question. I am Garukmos from the planet Garuk Nor, and I will be your host on this exploration of the Federation's Prime Directive. To understand the implications of this directive, we must first delve into its foundational premise. The Prime Directive prohibits Starfleet personnel from interfering in the internal and natural development of alien societies. This means no introducing new technologies, no altering social or political structures, and no interceding in conflicts, even when doing so could prevent great harm or suffering. The reasoning is that such interventions could disrupt the natural course of development, leading to unforeseen and potentially catastrophic consequences. The Prime Directive's roots are deeply philosophical, drawing from a blend of utilitarian ethics and cultural relativism. It suggests that the best way to respect other civilizations is to allow them to chart their own course, free from external influence. This principle can be seen as an extension of the concept of non-interventionism, which in human history has often been a response to the colonial and imperialist tendencies of more technologically advanced societies. However, this non-interventionist stance is not without its critics. In Star Trek, several episodes challenge the morality of the Prime Directive, presenting scenarios where adherence to this rule results in significant ethical dilemmas. For instance, in the Star Trek The Next Generation episode, Pen Pals, Captain Picard faces a moral quandary when a young girl from a pre-warp civilization contacts the Enterprise, pleading for help to save her planet from ecological disaster. The Prime Directive dictates non-interference, but the prospect of watching an entire civilization perish raises serious moral questions. This tension between ethical imperatives forms the crux of the debate around the Prime Directive. Does the principle of non-interference truly honor the autonomy of other cultures? Or does it, in fact, represent a form of moral cowardice, an unwillingness to take responsibility for the well-being of others? Is it possible that, in seeking to avoid playing God, Starfleet officers are abdicating their moral responsibility to prevent harm when they have the power to do so? As we delve deeper into this issue, we will explore specific examples from the Star Trek series that highlight the potential harms of intervention, even when driven by benevolent intentions. We will examine the complex ethical landscape navigated by Starfleet officers and consider whether any society, no matter how advanced, has the right to make decisions that could alter the course of another civilization's development. The next part of this exploration will shed light on how well-meaning actions can lead to unintended and often devastating consequences. In our next chapter, we delve into the unintended harms that can arise from helping less advanced civilizations and the ethical dilemmas posed by providing defensive technologies. The allure of the Prime Directive lies in its promise to avoid unintended consequences. Yet the universe of Star Trek is replete with examples illustrating how even well-intentioned actions can lead to disaster. One of the most compelling narratives that highlights this principle is found in the Star Trek the original series episode, A Private Little War. Captain Kirk faces a dilemma when he encounters a primitive society on the planet Neural, divided into peaceful hill people and more aggressive villagers. The Klingons, seeking to destabilize the region, provide advanced weapons to the villagers, prompting Kirk to question whether he should arm the hill people to restore balance. This scenario underscores the core ethical challenge. Intervening in a society's natural development, even with good intentions, can create a cascade of unintended consequences. By providing weapons, Kirk risks escalating violence and altering the social structure of Neural in ways that cannot be predicted. The villagers, initially less powerful, may become dominant, leading to further conflict and suffering. The Prime Directive aims to prevent such outcomes by enforcing a strict policy of non-interference. This approach is not without its own moral pitfalls. Another example comes from Star Trek The Next Generation in the episode, Who Watches the Watchers? A group of Federation anthropologists studying a Bronze Age civilization accidentally reveal their presence, leading the inhabitants to believe the Federation members are gods. This unintentional interference disrupts the natural belief systems and social hierarchies of the planet, causing chaos and confusion. Captain Picard and his crew must then grapple with the ethical implications of their actions, ultimately deciding to reveal the truth in an attempt to mitigate the damage. These episodes highlight the potential harm of introducing advanced technology or ideas to less developed societies. The introduction of defensive weapons is particularly fraught with danger. In the Star Trek universe, as in our own, defensive weapons can quickly become tools of aggression. A society given phasers or disruptors might initially use them to defend against external threats. But the same weapons can be turned inward, leading to power struggles, oppression, and civil war. The assumption that technology can be controlled or used solely for benign purposes is often naive. History is replete with examples of weapons intended for defense being repurposed for conquest. Furthermore, the ethical dilemma extends beyond the immediate consequences. Providing advanced technology can stifle a civilization's own ingenuity and cultural development. Societies grow and evolve through challenges and innovations born of necessity. When an external power introduces advanced solutions, it can halt this natural progression, leading to a dependency that undermines the society's ability to develop independently. In Star Trek Enterprise, the episode Dear Doctor explores this concept when the crew encounters a pre-warp civilization suffering from a genetic disease. The ethical debate centers on whether to provide a cure, potentially disrupting the society's natural evolution. The ethical issues surrounding the Prime Directive are not merely theoretical. They resonate with real-world historical events. Colonialism and imperialism often justified intervention under the guise of civilizing less advanced societies, leading to cultural erasure, exploitation, and long-term harm. The Prime Directive seeks to avoid these pitfalls by emphasizing respect for the autonomy and natural development of other civilizations. Yet, it also raises questions about moral responsibility. When does the duty to prevent harm outweigh the principle of non-interference? In the final part of this exploration, we will examine whether the Prime Directive's rigid stance on non-interference is a sustainable and morally justifiable approach. Can a balance be struck between respecting a civilization's autonomy and fulfilling a moral obligation to prevent suffering? We will also consider modern parallels, drawing lessons from Star Trek's futuristic scenarios to address contemporary ethical challenges in international relations and technological intervention. The ethical conundrum of the Prime Directive, whether to intervene or not, reflects a broader struggle within both the Star Trek universe and our own world. In an interconnected universe where actions have far-reaching consequences, finding the right balance between non-interference and moral responsibility is an ongoing challenge. Is it possible to respect a civilization's autonomy while also preventing suffering? And if so, how can this balance be achieved? In Star Trek, the Prime Directive is often portrayed as an absolute rule, yet numerous episodes illustrate the nuanced application of this principle. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of The Next Generation often wrestles with the directive's ethical implications, balancing respect for other cultures with a deep sense of moral duty. In the episode Symbiosis, Picard encounters two neighboring planets, one dependent on a narcotic supplied by the other. While the Prime Directive forbids him from intervening directly, he finds a way to indirectly disrupt the drug trade, allowing the dependent planet to break free without violating the directive outright. This example illustrates how creative solutions can sometimes navigate the fine line between intervention and respect for autonomy.
The Star Trek narrative suggests that the application of the Prime Directive requires wisdom and discernment rather than rigid adherence.
This flexibility acknowledges the complexity of ethical decision-making, where context and consequences must be weighed carefully. In Homeward, Worf's foster brother violates the Prime Directive to save a dying civilization by relocating them to a new planet. While this action technically breaks the rule, it prompts Picard to reflect on the broader ethical imperative to save lives, highlighting the tension between law and morality. Drawing parallels to our contemporary world, the ethical issues explored in Star Trek resonate with modern debates over humanitarian intervention, foreign aid, and technological transfer. The principle of non-interference can be seen in international relations, where sovereignty and self-determination are paramount. Yet, The responsibility to protect doctrine challenges this stance, arguing for intervention in cases of genocide, war crimes, and severe human rights abuses. The dilemma remains. When does the moral duty to prevent suffering justify intervention? And how can it be done without causing further harm? Technological intervention poses similar challenges. In developing nations, the introduction of advanced technologies can spur development, but also risk dependency and cultural disruption. The debate over digital colonization, where powerful tech companies influence social and economic structures in less developed regions, mirrors the concerns raised by the Prime Directive. Ensuring that technological assistance empowers rather than undermines local autonomy requires careful consideration of both the benefits and potential harms. Moral decision-making is a fundamental aspect of human life, influencing our actions, relationships, and societal structures. It is crucial because it helps us navigate complex situations, align our actions with our values, and foster a just and compassionate society. By guiding behavior in personal, professional, and social contexts, ethical decision-making builds trust and cooperation, enhances personal integrity, and promotes social justice. Ethical decision-making aims to minimize harm and maximize well-being by considering the consequences of actions and avoiding unnecessary suffering. The intrinsic value of life is a core principle in many ethical, philosophical, and religious traditions. Recognizing the importance of all life is crucial for several reasons. Every living being has inherent value simply by virtue of being alive, and this intrinsic worth calls for respect and protection. Life on Earth is interconnected, and the well-being of one species affects the ecosystem and the survival of others. Respecting all life supports biodiversity and ecological balance. Recognizing the importance of all life fosters compassion and empathy, encouraging us to consider the suffering and well-being of other beings and to act kindly and justly. Humans have the power to significantly impact other forms of life, and this power comes with a moral responsibility to act ethically, ensuring that our actions do not harm others and that we contribute to the flourishing of all life. Valuing all life supports sustainability and promotes practices that preserve natural resources, protect habitats, and ensure that future generations can enjoy a healthy and diverse planet. Ultimately, the question of whether the Prime Directive is ethically sound does not have a simple answer. It is a guiding principle that seeks to balance respect for autonomy with the moral imperative to prevent harm. Its value lies in prompting deeper reflection on the complexities of ethical decision-making in a diverse and interconnected universe. By exploring the nuanced application of this principle, Star Trek offers a rich tapestry of ethical dilemmas that continue to resonate with real-world issues. The Prime Directive's strength lies in its emphasis on humility and caution. It acknowledges the limits of knowledge and the potential for unintended consequences, urging us to tread carefully when wielding power over others. Yet, it also challenges us to consider our moral responsibilities and the ways in which we can act ethically in a complex world. As we navigate the ethical challenges of the 21st century, the lessons from Star Trek remind us that the pursuit of a just and compassionate society requires both wisdom and courage. The ethical debates sparked by the Prime Directive continue to inspire reflection and discussion, inviting us to consider how we can best navigate the delicate balance between non-interference and moral responsibility in our own time. Thank you for watching. Our channel, known as the Renaissance Spirit, is dedicated to the pursuits of a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. Video topics encompass areas including history, politics, religion, personal development, society, culture, social and environmental justice, and other topics of liberal arts and sciences, including ancient Rome and the Roman Empire, which is a great comparison and contrast of the modern world. Topics perfect for the true modern polymath. The Renaissance ushered in a golden age in the pursuit of knowledge. Knowledge both lost to time and yet to be discovered. It gave birth to the Enlightenment and the Age of Reason, embracing truth, knowledge, and an understanding and compassion for humanity and our shared history opens up the world to each of us, individually, and improves all of humanity, affording us the opportunity to be better stewards of the earth and to each other. The Renaissance spirit, more than just a philosophy or style, but a style for living, learning, growing, and thinking. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share if you're looking to explore and experience what life has to offer. I'm sure you'll enjoy the other videos on my channel. Please peruse, and let me know in the comments what you get out of them, what other videos you'd like to see. But first, please take the quiz next to see if you're a Renaissance spirit. Live the Renaissance spirit!